Good morning to all my friends and family. Jim's 5 a.m. club. It's morning tea time. It's about 9 a.m. It's March. It's Tuesday and a little overcast. Yesterday was a perfect day, a perfect autumn day. Today has a bit of cloud and it's sprinkling ever so gently at the moment, but what I'll do is I'll risk it. I'll just go and stand under the tree here and admire this beautiful view that we have of the Harbour Bridge and of the Opera House. So what we'll do today is, I might go a little bit further up actually. We'll do a walk and talk and we'll do a book summary. And today's book summary, or this episode's book summary should I say, is entitled The Big Leap. The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. And believe it or not, Gay Hendricks is a male. So when I refer to gay, I'm referring to a man and not a woman. So this book here is about limitations that we impose on ourselves, the self-sabotage that we incur because of those limiting beliefs, and a call to action to basically set ourselves free from the shackles and to live the life that we deserve. So the author kicks off their book with the following quote: "If I cling to the notion that some things are not possible, I'm arguing in favour of limitation. And if I argue for my limitations, I get to keep them." I often shake my head and scratch my head when I hear people talking about things, about conspiracy theories, or basically, celebrating or talking up a share market crash or property crash or whatever. And I say to myself, why? Why are they celebrating? Why are they arguing in favour of calamity and limitation? It's a funny mindset. And there are people who just thrive on creating chaos, thrive on creating fear, uncertainty and doubt. And it just eludes me. I just don't understand what drives them and what brings them to the point where they get absolute joy out of talking things down or increasing the limitations that they apply to not only themselves with their way of thinking, but also to the others around them. Because you've got to understand, whatever you say, whatever you do is influencing people around you in some sort of way. And the important thing is, if you are going to be an influence, if you are going to be a role model, then you need to try and choose to be a positive role model and somebody who doesn't impose artificial limitations on the people around you, and you become the wind beneath their wings to help them grow and develop. So let's continue through this book, because the author says, as I mentioned before, or as I alluded to, that we apply artificial limits to our happiness. Why do people apply limits? Why do people put the brakes on their happiness? Why do they throw a blanket over happiness and don't allow it to thrive and grow and develop? And what the author is saying is that the reason why a lot of people don't allow themselves to release that handbrake and to release the valve of happiness and give themselves permission for happiness is because they don't think they deserve to have it, and they don't think that they deserve to have it all. It's an interesting thing to sit back and consider. It's starting to rain now, so what I'll do is I'll go into wharf number 6 to get out of the elements. So it's all about giving yourself permission and saying to yourself that you deserve to be happy, you deserve joy, you deserve positive affirmation and pleasures in your life. We all are. So the author says here that because some people have been brought up thinking that they don't deserve to be happy, then what they do is they apply the brakes whenever happiness comes into their lives, whenever joy comes into their lives, and they throttle back as opposed to increase the throttle to create more happiness. And this causes problems, of course, because if you're in a relationship with somebody or in a family situation, you don't want to be known as the killjoy, the person who's always got the frown on the face, the person who always brings the negative energy to the family event. And you want to be seen, or we all want to be seen and known as being the source of energy, the source of joy, and the source of fun. And the only way you can do that is by trying as much as possible to release those limits and to allow other people to grow, develop, and be the best version that they can of themselves without feeling that they can't because of some limiting beliefs or limiting circumstances. And we look over history that everything is possible once you think that it's possible. Many years ago, the 4-minute mile was considered a physical impossibility. And yet, when Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute barrier for the race over a mile, then within a short matter of time, many athletes were able to achieve it, even though it was considered an impossibility just a few months earlier. So the basic thing is that there are a lot of things that are possible, but you need to be able to think that they are possible in order to manifest that possibility. So let's examine what this author talks about in terms of the limits that people apply to themselves. And the author suggests here that there are 2 common upper limits that people have, which taper and trim their opportunities for happiness and achievement. The first one is fear, and the second limit is self-sabotage. And we've all been there. We've all been fearful, and we've all had times where we sabotage our efforts. Because what happens is that the author reminds us that a lot of this stuff happens at the subconscious level. And believe it or not, many of us have a limit to our happiness, which is loaded into our subconscious. And I've mentioned in another book that I've done a summary on that we have some sort of limit or some sort of equilibrium in terms of the happiness that we think that we deserve to have. And like in chemistry, we always tend to move to whatever that limit is. So what the author is saying here is that at the subconscious level, there are things happening which are trimming or pushing our happiness buttons, and it's all based on the expectations that we've convinced ourselves about in terms of how much happiness we deserve to have. Because what happens is that if you're having too much happiness and there's a cognitive dissonance happening between what you think you should be achieving and what you're actually achieving, what will happen is that your brain will subconsciously generate habits and behaviours to ruin your happiness or to ruin the situation that you're in. So a lot of us have an upper limit mindset as a result of what we create, of what we create. And a lot of the times, and you see it all the time, this is so interesting. We end up creating fake drama and unnecessary problems just to sabotage our happiness. How many times do you see it happening in our family events, in our situations, where for no reason whatsoever a drama unfolds and unnecessary problems are created, and you say to yourself, where did that come from? How did that materialise? But you know, deep down, after reading this book, that you understand that it is a limiter, which is happening at the subconscious level, which causes us or others to sabotage the situation and to ruin the friendship, ruin the night, ruin the moment, be a mood killer, and cause tremendous problems and challenges. And it happens all the time. You know, by just going through this book, there are so many examples that I see in my life where people around me who should have been happy for a situation where I was delighted in that and should be supporting me, or I should be supporting others, for example, where it just doesn't work out and the opposite happens, where instead of supporting and having the time of our lives, it turns to absolute shit. But it's because of this subconscious level of upper limit mindset that is causing us to self-sabotage ourselves, and the rain is coming down. And a lot of this is caused because of fear. And here is a lesson from this author saying that fear basically is excitement without the breath. So if you want to understand fear, fear is basically the same as excitement, but without the breathing. And in order to help suppress and get over fear, the author basically says that we need to breathe it out, because when our breath gets shortened, it happens because we're scared. But if you want to turn fear into excitement, what we need to do is something very, very simple. We just need to breathe it out, breathe slowly, breathe deeply, and breathe into the situation, and you will see that the fear dissipates and the excitement takes over. So the author then mentions that if you knew and accepted that you have all you need to live up to your potential, that gives you no excuse to not want to do it. So we mustn't try and find excuses for not doing things. The author is suggesting that we should be trying to find excuses to do more things. And the last key point to come out of this book, the author talks to us about the 4 zones of work that we need to try and understand in order to help us make the most of the situations that we're involved with. And the first zone is called the zone of incompetence. Then the second one is called the zone of competence, the zone of excellence, and the zone of genius. The zone of incompetence basically is that you suck at doing what you're doing and others do it much better. The zone of competence is that you're all right at doing what you're doing, but once again, others do it pretty much better than you do. The zone of excellence is that you're highly skilled at what you do, and few can meet and match your skills. But the most important zone of all is the zone of genius where you're the best in the world at what you do. And what the author here is suggesting is that the zone of genius is where we really want to be. You want to try and be and aim for being the best in the world at what you do. So do it to the best of your ability and just seek to be a leader in your field. So that's the big leap. The big leap is to try and do the best you can and be the best you possibly can. And I think that's where I can finish off today on this wonderful Tuesday. The rain has stopped. It was only a very, very short drizzle. So thank you very much for joining me on this book summary, this walk and talk. The book that we just covered is called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. And I hope you got a few pointers out of it, a few life hacks that we can implement into our day, where we can eliminate the fear by breathing it out, and to eliminate self-sabotage by removing the upper limit mindsets that could be holding us back and knobbling us. So let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable, and most importantly, let's live a life where we take big leaps of faith, and we try and achieve the best we possibly can with the time we have available to us, and to enjoy the rest of this beautiful day, this unique day, a day that'll never ever come back, a day that we have an opportunity to grab everything we possibly can with both hands, 10 fingers and both arms, squeeze it close to us and make the most of it. So thank you once again, and I look forward to coming to you later in the day with one more book summary or two, depending on the mood and the time I have available to me, and to get through this day, get through this morning, and to hopefully live, learn and pass it on wherever we can. So take care, yasas, sasagapao, and kisses from Jim's 5am Club, and until we chat again, have a beautiful, beautiful Tuesday.